So I want you to look at this image. And this is an image that shows automobiles, cars, plotted on a graph based on the various statistics, various parameters that define an automobile. Maybe that's torque, engine capacity, or horsepower, whatever. Now, I want you to look at the next one. On the left-hand side, you see automobiles. On the right-hand side, you see human beings plotted on a curve, right? Now, it's interesting. Look at the key differences between these two images, okay? Even though the ones on the left, these are the machines that have been intentionally calibrated to perform in a certain way. They have been given a capacity based on the designers, the engineers, the automakers, and they are limited by the capacity with which they can perform based on the ingrained statistics, okay? On the right-hand side, these entities, these are human beings, they are not limited by the numbers or the statistics with which they will perform. However, they pick these numbers, we pick these numbers on most important milestones of our lives, which is educational milestones of our lives, which could be your 10th class, your high school board examinations, your undergrad percentages, your ranks in competitive exams, okay? Sad part is that even though these are just the percentages, the outcomes of your actions across those important milestones, the entities on the right-hand side start behaving exactly as the ones on the left, thinking that's their capacity. Now, mine was 58% in undergrad. So I finished my undergrad, 58%, and I did not come from a rich family. We had no money, and I said, Mom, I think we have screwed up. I don't think I'll get a great job out of whatever I have right now, and I don't know what to do now. And I think, so she's a very strong woman, and she said, I don't know, figure this out. I think you'll be able to revive yourself. Just find a way and do it. And I said, if this is what I have, I think I'll have a very mediocre life. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do the kind of things that I expected my life to have, and I'm not sure if I'll have a great career. Now, next 4 years, from waking up at 4 a.m. to reading 5 newspapers, to working on math problems, to figuring out, rewiring myself in every way. In the next 4 years, I made it to one of the top 10 schools in the US, and that was a very expensive education that I didn't know how to fund. And I was fortunate enough that I was given 100% financial aid. Now, this is not the story of that turnaround, okay? In my life, based on this, I get to work with thousands of people who are plotted across this spectrum, okay? There are people who belong to the extreme left of the spectrum, which they've not done well. They're below expectations, and I also get to work with people on the extreme right as well, people who are IITians, 2-digit rankers, they're working with the top tech consulting firms. And I see this behavior of human beings to box themselves based on whatever they have experienced in the past. Think about it this way, and you'll be very surprised. Even the people on the right, so if I see somebody who's 34 and they're thinking of now are doing the next stages of things in their life, and you ask them, hey, listen, how's your job? And how do you think is your current career or your life defining? And they say, you know what, I just don't like it. And if you tell them, you don't get to complain, you could do everything, and you've done everything that your parents wanted to, you've done everything that you in your life wanted to, and you went to the IITs, the top schools, or top of the global programs, they say, you've always been a topper in your life, what went wrong with you now? If you don't like your job, start something new, do something interesting and different. And they say, you know what, I can't do it because the world is not used to having me fail. I'm not used to failing. I'm not used to going wrong in my life, and my family doesn't expect this from me either. So this has an impact. This thought process of boxing people and caging them in numbers and these statistics has a very, very strong impact on our children, more than what we know. Now, how do we get here? How did we get here? One is definitely competition. So prehistoric times, yes, we were we are wired to compete for raw, resources, food, and hunting. In this age, those resources are seats in colleges, right? So imagine your child is in 7th or 8th, and now you hear things such as Delhi University, several colleges have 100% cutoffs. And now you're thinking about your children, you're saying, you know what? Oh my God, the next 4 years, I have to deploy best of the resources to get him to do more than 100% so that he can make it to one of the top colleges in the country. And it just doesn't go away. Those 4 or 5 years of the lives of these children, when they're preparing to only have one state performance that says, hey, I'm that statistic, I'm going to hit that statistic. And whether they make it or not, whether they're on the extreme left or on the extreme right, they leave that experience with a very strong label here that says this is what defines me. And even if you look at this, you see those billion-dollar coaching firms, the industry funded by billion-dollar venture capitalist funding, and you see the valuations in the country. How do they grow? What are we doing to ourselves? So we are increasing and scaling these giants that are feeding on the insecurity of the parents to hit on a statistic that you think would make their future more certain, because you don't have any other way. As parents, we don't have any other way. And our desire to not stay away from uncertainty, we are pushing for those numbers. Now, one of the things, and I think I want to leave this with a very, very special thought, which is irrespective of what your performance was, whether it's your class 10th or 12th or your undergrad, there are 2 ways to look at the same thing. One, whatever you have, maybe, so imagine that you had your board examinations in the month of March of any year that you were in, okay? Board examinations are usually March. So whatever you had in your examinations, was that an outcome of your hard work for 3 to 4 months before that exam? Or was that percentage, or is that percentage representative of your entire life? Okay? Now, that number will not define you forever. Maybe that number defined the 3 to 4 months preceding the exams, or whatever milestones you have seen in your life. And also remember one thing, and understand this. There are times, all of us had professors who were not interested in their jobs. And I'm not trying to blame them, I'm not trying to blame the system, but you would not take it personally if you did not like a Netflix or an Amazon series. Would you take that personally? Like if you're watching Netflix and if you don't like something and your brain does not get triggered enough and you hate it, you would not question your brain personally, isn't it? You would not. So we have in our lives, we have been through those lectures where we were not inspired to learn from them. And the last thing I want you to do is to judge yourself for it. And it's okay. It's not that the professors are good or bad. It's just that you have picked on too much blame on yourself that you're carrying forever. And I'm not saying that the numbers are irrelevant. I'm just saying that we are not the machines on the left. It's just a game, and we can do whatever we want. Thank you. Thank you.